Welcome back to the Burnt Pancakes Podcast. I am your host, Katie Fensky, and I'm here to remind moms that everyone burns their first pancake, so just keep flipping. Today, I have a special momversation for all of you moms who just watched your high school seniors graduate. Yes, I am sitting down with mom friend Christina, who recently had her 19-year-old daughter move on. She left the house, she's starting her own life, and Christina is going to give us a very open and honest chat about what that felt like. I know for me, it's a few years off still, but it's something that I have already started to think about. Christina is so awesome. She shares just what it feels like and gave some very great tips on how to make that transition in motherhood. So stay tuned for that. Before we start that, I would love to ask you to leave me a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are getting anything out of this podcast. I love making it, and I would love for you to share your comments, your thoughts with me. And if you are on social media, come find me on Burnt Pancakes with Katie. I love connecting and making friends with all of you listeners. So without further ado, let's listen to Christina share with us about what it's like when your birdie leaves the nest. Welcome, Christina, to the podcast.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, me too. Me too. This is going to be so fun. So you are at a different stage than I'm at, but it's a stage that from the minute I had kids, I've already thought about, like, what is this going to feel like when they leave the nest? So, give us a little backstory. So how many kids you have, and your oldest daughter just moved away. So like, give us the story.
Yeah, you bet. So we have like a modern family. So I have like 4 to 5 kids is how I phrase it. And they are 19, 15, 13, 12, and 11. So 2 girls, 3 boys. The boys are starting to eat us out of house and home. So you have that coming for you with your 3 boys.
It's not there yet, but I'm just barely seeing like a glimmer of, oh, this is what they're talking about.
Oh yeah. And it just like accelerates with like they'll be 12, 13, and 14 coming up here like August, September. And so like even just in the last like little bit, it's just like they're eating like way more than my husband, who's a mechanic, on his feet all day. Like, and there's 3 of them, and we're like, okay, cool. But we try not to like bat an eyelash at it. It is like, I try to remember to be grateful. I try to remember to be grateful that I have mouths to feed.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my daughter, she's my baby, my first. Those ones are the hardest ones, I think. You know, it doesn't matter like what's, you know, like that first time you become a mom and you make that connection and you realize what everyone's been talking about, that like unconditional love that you can't explain until you're a parent. It just like, so she's my baby. She's 19. And she moved to the other side of country. So I'm in Alberta on the west side of Canada. She moved to the very east coast, straight across to the other side of Canada.
Like as far away as she could get.
Yeah, it was like, you're just supposed to move down the street, okay? Or like the next
out of the house.
Over. Yeah, and like still need to come and do your laundry here or come eat here or those sorts of things. I really expected that kind of transition.
So she moved, it was not going to school. She went into the like military.
Yeah. So she was a cadet kid. So here in Canada, we have like cadets, which is like a junior kind of program for mentoring youth. So she did that. She did like Girl Guides and brownies and stuff as a kid, but it was always something that she had pre-set up with her dad. Like he really wanted her to try this. It's got like a lot of discipline and opportunities for her to try new things. So it was always on the docket. And I'm telling you, so this kid is the kid that like, we did dance, we did soccer, we did ball, we did vocal. Like
firstborn gets to do it all.
I know. And also none of it seems to like, like never seemed like to like, oh yeah, that's the thing. Gymnastics, like all the things, nothing. If anyone would have told me that military cadets would have been the thing that like my daughter was all over, I would never have believed you. Never.
I was going to ask you if you saw this coming or if it was like out of left field.
I did it in a way because like she is the oldest of also 5 kids. So there's going to be like a spot where there's like, she just wants to not have to be in charge or like in this like space of always, I think, being the oldest. There's something to be said when you're like, want to, be free of that title. I was the oldest. So I kind of know what that's like to be like, I don't want to be like worried
So
about all this stuff. And yeah, so I did in a way, but I never really saw kind of this coming. But I started to see the plan. She took a gap year after high school, which was amazing. And she planned to travel, but none of her friends had money to travel. People didn't have jobs and she didn't have anything like ride or die. And I think that's like what I'm most excited for her right now is this sense of community that she's going to be a part of. Like these people like have your back, or at least
family.
That's what I tell myself. Yeah, family.
Yeah.
The military family, like they will have each other so that like, when they just like go and travel, they'll always like have each other.
Yeah.
So.
Oh gosh, the mama heart, that would probably make me feel like a little bit better. Oh. So, okay, she went away in January, right? How long before that did you like know that was coming, or was it last minute decision?
It was pretty, yeah. So we kind of had she had these two type of kind of plans going on. Neither of them were going to be here. So there was maybe like 6 months, but like she didn't really seem sold on any of them. So I kind of just put it off on the back burner. It's one of those things that you try to prepare a little bit for, but the more you sink in, the more it hurts. So you try not to prepare too much either. And yeah, it was decided. And because she's female, she was like really, I think, like pushed through the system much more quickly if she was just like a young man. I'm sure there's plenty of young men, but not as many young women. So it was like 6 weeks. Like I was petrified it was going to be before Christmas. Oh yeah, I was petrified and we didn't really know. I was like, if it is Christmas, I will like come unglued. So thankfully it was not, but it was like January 10th. It was like just after Christmas. And yeah, Katie, I would gladly take a colicky baby and a toddler at the same time as those first.
That feeling. That's why I was going to ask if this gives you like a whole new appreciation for that phrase. Enjoy it now, or what is it? Enjoy it now because it goes so fast. Like, do you now feel like, holy crap, that was so, let me get a tissue. Like that was so true. Like you don't see it in the moment, but then it passes and you're like, gosh, I didn't enjoy it. All right. Yeah.
I would give anything to go back to a 5-year-old version and do it one more time.
Oh, I was going to ask you what stage, what age is your favorite?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd probably go right back to 5 because she's just so feisty and precocious and just so like, everything is just so lit up. I love that. I love babies too, but that one's like that little person. But it's kid face. My dad has been telling me all this time, like to savor, especially like my boys, like literally boys find like one thing to bash another thing till one of the things breaks. And like when they're quiet,
that is story of my life,
right? Like when it's quiet, you have to worry. And it's just been like this running joke. And he just is like, you will look back at these days and you will miss it so much. Try not to wish it away. And it's so hard not to be pissed at him at the moment and be like, stop with your like stuff. I'm like,
don't tell me that.
They're driving me crazy. Have you seen my gray hair? I'm losing it. They're giving me wrinkles. It's hard. But
he's so right.
He's so right. And it really gives me such appreciation. My youngest is definitely spicy. So I try to reflect and enjoy the hugs and enjoy the spicy because one day I won't be in charge of it. And before you know it, he might be on this grand adventure getting terrible tattoos, or at least in my opinion, terrible tattoos on the other side of the country. And I will have no say.
She got a tattoo?
2 tattoos. One of them is the type that you get from like a gumball machine. Like you just like spontaneous 19. And she loves it for that whole idea. And of course, I'm the parent going,
are you going to love this in 20 years? Just wait till you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And it all stretches out.
Oh, no. Totally.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So how did you prepare yourself for like the day because she left. I remember you got to go see her at her graduation, right? So that was like the last time you've seen her since January.
Yeah. And she'll be home in August. So it's still a couple months away, but I'm like
Counting down the days,
like just holding it together. The hardest thing I think as a parent is that we spend all this time loving these people. We're developing this parenting philosophy that we're passionate about, either similar to our parents or maybe the opposite or somewhere in between. And we're like, we're feeling so strongly about doing a good job and worrying about doing a good job, all those things. And then you get to a point, oh my gosh, and you get to this moment in which you see them about to spread their wings and you're like, oh, I did that. I was part of that. That's amazing. And I hate it.
I did a good job, but I wish I didn't.
Yeah, it's a really funny feeling. So I just try to be grateful that like she's one of the loves of my life and just an outstanding human. Like, how amazing is that she's like now choosing something that's so giving of herself and takes like so much courage, so much determination. Like, this child was not your athletic child. So basic training is not like something that would have just come easy to her. Besides of course being 19, but like, I just try to really soak in just the pride. And I try to just remember that was my job to do. And that's how I prepared myself, is just to remember like that was my job to do. And like, how amazing did we do to like raise this like person or be a part of raising this like outstanding human being. So I really, really, really try to focus on that. At first, every Zoom call I was crying, then it moved to like every second one. I feel so terrible too, because I'm not really trying to make her feel bad. Right. And I really always like every second time I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cry. I just miss her so much. And I worry, like, but someone great told me like, you're worried about her like emotional health and like how she's getting along with friends and stuff. That's because you have this brain. She has a 19-year-old brain that's not even like fully developed. She's not feeling the way you think she's feeling. You're imagining you in that spot. Yes. And she's just like, she's living it up. So try not to be like worried or putting even more on her plate. Like, oh, how's your mental health and all that? Like, I do check in, but I try not to like be obsessive about it.
Yeah. How did she react to leaving? Was she like, I'm so excited, like the world is ahead of me? Or was it like?
Totally. Yeah. She was like, not at all worried about being homesick. Like, if anything, she was just worried about the training, but not about leaving home. So it was never about leaving home. She was like, peace. And I was like, okay.
She's totally opposite me. When it came for college, the college I went to was actually closer than my high school. It was literally down the street, because I was like, I can't leave home yet. I can't leave home. In hindsight, I would have been just fine, like if I had gone away, but I was not like that. But my oldest son, I'm like, he's already packing his bag. He's ready to go. Like, he's so independent. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Do you guys have like certain rules? Like, I'll call you every day. I'll call you once a week. Like, have you made?
I haven't really put that on her, but I do definitely like call. We have a 3-hour time difference too. So like when I'm just getting off work is kind of when she's like just getting ready on Friday night, as a 19-year-old would. So there's lots of like, oh, pass the phone around to my mom. Oh, I got a bug on me.
I see it. Oh gosh.
My
For those of you who are just listening and not watching on YouTube, she's in the most glorious like park right now. Your background is beautiful. I love it.
Oh, thank you. But that was like, there you go. That's what happens when you're in a park. You can get a bug. There's bugs. Yeah. So, but she hasn't really put any rules on me, which I appreciate. I've tried to start to give her a little bit of space, that it doesn't have to be like every day. And so, which is nice, because when I give her space, then she misses me, and I don't feel like that. So sometimes it's hard to do, right? We have to give them space to miss us and to like want to connect, and then we don't feel like, we're hounding or like, am I being needy or whatever? Right. It is.
Like, it's such a balance between like, I'm your mom, I get to call you, and letting them miss you and letting them take the initiative. Oh my gosh.
Totally. And so she still like wants to call me, tell me the tea, that's like means the most to me, that like, you know, she still wants to tell me the things. Even when she got these tattoos, she was like, literally within 5 seconds, she's like, I got 2 tattoos. Don't be mad. I wasn't even going to tell you, but I can't keep secrets.
Oh, but I love that
So
she
these are
tells
the things,
you. She told you.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just go,
So
they're beautiful. Yay.
I'm like, mm-hmm. And she's like, and you know what? I think she almost likes that I don't like them. Like, I think that's
It's
like
like
at that,
a
I
little
think,
rebellious thing. Or it's just like, this is the
yeah,
first time I'm on my own. Like I
yeah,
can do my own thing. My own person now.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay. So if there were someone else in your shoes, what advice, what tips do you give on letting your birdie fly? Like letting them leave the nest?
I would make sure that you like have a supportive group of wonderful women
Mm.
that you can share your heart with, that isn't pouring out on your kid. I don't think it's fair. So
Ah,
like, even though I'm still like, I didn't master it and I still cry every second day and I had to apologize, I cannot imagine how much more it would have been without a sisterhood, without people. It doesn't have to be sisters, I suppose, and somebody who gets you, somebody who
mhm.
get, you know, like can even just like hug you and tell you it's all going to be okay, and that they'll
Mm.
love you and miss you and you did a good job, to remind you you did a good job.
Yeah.
So make sure you like reach out to those people who know and love you, and let the venting of emotion out as much with other people as you can, not to like put it on them, because I think it might also like be like a repellent for
Hmm.
teens. They're like, oh my gosh, like enough. So I just try to keep it cool, try to be as cool and flexible as you can. I can't imagine what it would be like though, in if she was like, she will start school as part of this program. She's not there yet. She's just kind of awaiting that. But I can't imagine what it would be like for university, where you're like, sorry, when are you getting your homework? Or that you like paid for their tuition and
Right.
they're out partying all weekend. That would be, so I'm thankful also for that. But that's what I would say is like, remember that it was your job to grow those beautiful wings. And
Mhm.
when you are feeling like it's unmanageable, try to reach out to somebody that knows and loves you to let it off a little bit before you just call your kid. And then also just be okay with the fact that it's messy. I think she would have been sad and disappointed to have not seen that as well. And my husband reminds me of that all the time when I'm trying to like pull it together. He's like, I don't think she wants to see that you don't miss her or that you have it together. I
Yeah.
think it reminds her, even if she scoffs, even if she rolls her eyes, she leaves the conversation knowing just how missed she is.
Yeah. Yeah. She needs to know that mama's hurting too. Mama's hurting too. Oh my,
Yeah. Yeah.
not ready for it.
And I wish you luck. Yeah, there's no more preparation that you can do, but just to remember the whole time, your whole job is to raise these amazing humans and be so proud of yourself. And just know again that I would take a colicky baby and a toddler at the same time over this process. So that I don't think there's a way to escape it. But
Yeah.
yeah, really revel. You know, when they say that about like cherish those moments because they pass, they are not kidding.
They are
They're not
right.
kidding.
Oh, so those
Yeah.
toddler tantrums that I'm getting, I need to enjoy them more. Oh. Or no, one day you'll be leaving. Like I say that to my husband all the time because he loves a nice, tidy house. Like things are breaking in our house that we don't plant, like, boys, why are you peeling the paint off the wall? And then I'm like, but one day they won't be here and the house will be perfect again and we won't have them. They'll be gone. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll honestly be like, it'll be tidy. You won't even have anything to do.
Yeah. Like, darn it. I wish some boys would come here and draw on my wall again.
Right?
Oh
Oh my
man.
gosh.
Okay. Last question for you. How is she doing? Is she like doing
She's doing,
amazing?
honestly, she is doing amazing. She's starting to get homesick, I think, when everyone was kind of done university and home
Mhm.
here for the summer. Her friends are coming home. I think that is tough. But one of her best friends is out there now. That has made my heart happy. She's made friends, including like female friends. There's a lot of boys in the military. So I'm like, oh
That
man,
must be tough. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, it's really tough. It's tough to be like, also just navigating this spot where you're like young, she's beautiful, she's
Mhm.
funny, she's talented. And like they like her, but how do you like maintain these like friendships? And then you have to let these poor young men down, and not all of them handle it gracefully. And it's tough. And
Yeah.
so that's one of those things. I'm like, oh, her poor heart. And they're like, she's a teenager. She's not thinking about it like that. The boys aren't thinking about it like broken hearts. They haven't developed those skills yet. So try not to. So she's doing amazing, but she is getting homesick. One of the tattoos she got was homage to our hometown,
Oh,
which she thought, what she was like, yeah,
that would
she
melt
was
my
like,
heart. I would be okay with that tattoo. Like, okay,
yeah,
honey,
that one's
get
okay.
that one.
That
Oh,
one's okay. The gumball one wasn't, but that one was amazing. Because, you know, she like, what? It's funny. You're so desperate to leave your hometown. It's like, it's not all these things. There's a list of things when you're a teenager that it's not for you until you leave. And then those things only, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So
it'll
only in
always
those
be
things does
home.
she miss. Exactly. It'll always be home. So it's been nice for her to experience homesick. She's really looking forward to coming here. 2 weeks is going to rush by so fast. I definitely secured music festival tickets for 3 days. I just plan to soak in 3 days with her. So that's going to be amazing. But she's doing well. I ask her all the time and she's like, Mom, I really am. I'm like, I am a little homesick, but I am like making good friends. These people have my back. I am safe. I am happy and I am living my best life. I'm like,
that's all I can ask for.
that's all I could ask for.
Okay. And you are doing amazing too, because this could not be, I don't even want to think about what it's going to be like, but like you're doing it and you're showing us all that you can survive this. And there's a way to get through it.
There is for sure a way. And even talking about it, I wasn't sure. Even yesterday, I was like, but I want to, you know, think about it too much because I really want to share the strength side of it. But no, and Katie's seen it, like many tears have been shed, but I think the only way to get through it is to shed them. So let it out and then just, you know, like keep your eye on the prize. Like, man, you are like a good human. I'm so excited for you. And we'll see where the wind takes her, literally on the Navy. Where does the wind blow?
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because it's not home. The whole thing is it's not home. From here, I live in the prairies. Like home it's just not here anymore. So her adventures are only just starting. So, and I think, you know, like you're going to need to build your own plan about how you're going to nourish yourself. I think that would be the other piece of advice. I know, circling back, that I didn't really think of at the moment, but like, what do you want for yourself? You need to make sure you're filling your cup and not just like only filling it with your kids, because then it will be really, really empty.
Oh my God. That is very wise. Like it's very easy to lose yourself in motherhood, but then you realize, well, it's not ever done when they move out of the house, but when you let them go, what's left? Like, what are some ways that you are still filling your cup as a mom?
Oh, I love that. So I'm a huge fan of the discipline of a morning routine and like where that I do right now to fill my cup. Now, I'm not always like disciplined about exactly what I'm doing, that kind of routine per se, but it always has a few components. It always has gratitude. It always has something in it that's nourishing for me. It always has an essence of spirituality. It always has a little bit of movement, and not all those days am I like sweating. Some of them are softer. Some of them are badass. It's all varied, but that is, and I think the other thing that I did was invest like in myself in the last 6 months about really helping hone in on the things that had been holding me back from following my purpose. And so now I have this like 5-year plan that I'm in kind of year one about, so that when my baby is 18, is 17, and is also like, then my cup isn't really empty. I will have already been on to this new plan. So I'm really excited about this. Like,
I'm excited
5-year
about
plan.
it. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Because it just shows that, you know, we're both in our 40s. Like we can start new things in our 40s as moms, because we're not just moms. We are women, and it's okay. It's okay to pivot when you're 42 and want to start a podcast.
Absolutely. When you're 44 and you want to like, okay, I'm going to start a new side career,
right?
And I'm going to go to school and I'm going to but like it really is of service. And the same with what you're doing, Katie. Like moms need moms. Like how
Right.
beautiful is it that you're like helping be a spot where moms can go and feel safe and hear the stuff that they need to hear. Like I just think it's such a beautiful thing, your momversations. I tell everybody I know, because all of us moms, even if we're not necessarily at the stage you're talking about, we were once there. It helps us walk down memory lane and hold those moments precious too. And I think, yeah, we all as moms need a spot that's like, we got you in this like non-judgmental space, but also a reminder what you're doing is that you can also, you can pivot, and there's still plenty of life ahead of me.
So much.
Plenty of purpose, plenty of purpose left to still be fulfilled. Yeah. And our messages are meant for the world.
That's so true. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Like now I'm going to tear up. Oh.
I know I held it together. I'm so proud of myself.
Stop now before we cry. Well, thank you so much. Cause I feel like your message to all these moms who are watching their seniors graduate from high school right now, I wanted you to come on because I don't want to just talk about babies. I want to talk about the teen life. I want to talk about what it is like when you have a child leave the house. So I so appreciate you being open and sharing everything that you're going through.
Oh my gosh. And such great timing. I know I see all these grad photos and those parents, and I remember that moment a couple years ago for me. And I'm like, oh, I know it. It's so proud. Like you're so proud. And also you're being stabbed in the heart. With a knife at the
I did a
same
good
time.
job, but now I wish I did it.
Yeah. Just, like try to let go of that control. You did a good job. It was what you were meant to do. They're like, give them a little space to fly. They'll always come home.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Katie. Thanks so much for what you're doing.